Welcome back to Third Coast Podcast. I'm Joe. What it do, Gators? And you're listening to episode 275, Comedy on the Bayou. And on this episode, I sit down with Lake Charles comedian Jay Moody, and we learn about his writing process and how he builds new material into his set with his unique style of stoner swamp comedy. And we also dive into his deep passion for music, which he has played the bass guitar and the regular electric guitar for over 20 years. This is a heartfelt conversation and just wonderful time. And if you ain't checked it out, check out Third Coast Podcast at 5000ws.thirdcoastpodcast.com on all major streaming platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can listen to podcasts, we are there. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Third Coast Podcast, and I'm Joe. What it do, Gators? And I'm joined today with Mr. Jay Moody from the Lake Charles area. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, brother. I appreciate you having me here. It's a nice, beautiful day out here.
Yeah, as the listeners have seen that we've been bouncing around, and I just think it's aesthetically pleasing to enjoy a podcast looking out on this beautiful Louisiana day we got here. So how was your drive up to big old Oakdale today, Jay?
It was uneventful, brother. I took back roads instead of the interstate and just listened to 90s new metal. It was pretty fun.
90s new metal?
Yeah.
So who's your favorite artist in that genre?
I'm probably going to go with Korn, just because they're like the progenitors of the entire genre. But it was a mix. There was Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park. Just real dad metal.
Oh, all right. I like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
I remember growing up back in the day listening to Limp Bizkit with my dad, and now I listen to it like, man, I shouldn't have been listening to that as a child. Like, you got a song about a chainsaw, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chainsaw.
Skin your ass raw.
Yeah. Nice.
It's some real Scarface shit.
So, for the listeners out there on all major streaming platforms, Jay is a comedian. How did you get your start in the line of being a comedian?
I think it's one of those things you'll hear a similar answer from most comedians. That's what they kind of did it their whole life. Like they're always trying to make their mom laugh, or siblings, or friends, and then you just do that. And then you want to do it more. And then I found a place in Lake Charles that was having open mics. And I went and scoped it out. And then I was like, I need to write some jokes. Instead of just like, because you'll see guys just go up there and try to wing it. They're like, I could do that. And you're like, oh, no. You shouldn't have done that at all. So then it's really just, I started by going to that first open mic and getting up there. Once you do that, you're like, all right, I can do this. Or you find out like, oh, I got to work on this a lot more.
So where was your first open mic at?
It was at Luna Live in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Nice. The old, they used to do a ton of concerts, or just, it's a smaller venue, big room in the back. So like national acts, regional acts. And then on Sundays, they would do open mic comedy, which was a weird day to put it. Just because everybody, it was like kind of starting in the afternoon, so you're getting a lot of church crowd.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of dudes talking about their wieners.
Trying to sell it, huh?
Yeah, just trying to get people to laugh. It's a very common avenue.
Yeah, I seen that on your Instagram. You label your comedy as swamp stoner comedy.
Yes. It's about, I say that just because I live way out in the country. And I kind of grew up in the country. And I spent a lot of time stoned in the country. And that's where I sit down and write. Just baked. It's very similar property to this. Like, it's not huge. It's not as big as this. But it's like, we have a rundown shop with a tree growing over it.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from. So that's what I call it.
So all your comedy is pre-written. You don't do a lot of improv? Or is it like a mix?
It depends on the situation. Like, at mics and stuff like that, or smaller shows, I'll kind of riff on stuff just to see what comes out of it. I have the subject and an idea of the direction, like where the punchline kind of is, and then that'll have some improvisation, kind of work on taglines, stuff like that. But when it comes to like booked gigs, where they're paying me for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, I go with pretty much the strict stuff that I know works, and sometimes there's a little wiggle room, but I try to keep it in the area, because if somebody's paying you to do it, you should do it to the best of your ability. So I try to stick with stuff that I know works in those situations. It really just depends on where we're at and what we're doing.
All right. So besides Lake Charles, I've seen you've done Lafayette, and has there been other venues that you've done?
Yeah. I've done Houston. I'll be in Baton Rouge later this month for the first time. Lafayette. I've done comedy here at the Void.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, 3 years ago. It was very fun. I was wearing a kilt and I was day drunk.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, that weekend was one of the things where I was like, I should probably stop drinking. And it helped with stopping drinking. It was like the Void, and then something the next weekend I went way too hard.
So you just cut it, or just slapped back a lot?
I pretty much cut it.
Nice.
Every once in a while I'll have like an old fashioned if I'm like at a nice restaurant. That's about it.
What's that? Whiskey?
It's bourbon.
Bourbon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the thing where they like smoke something now and put it over the glass and stuff. I said, well, that's fancy right there.
That's what I did like as a day job for 20 years. I don't do it anymore, but I worked in fine dining. And those smokers, like if you do it right, you can bring it to the table with the smoke still in it. And if you slide it off slowly, the smoke will stay in there and kind of ripple with the whiskey when you set it down. But if you do it right, it's theatric.
And you're supposed to drink it when it's smoky, or you gotta wait till the smoke dissolves or whatever?
Oh, well, the smoke dissipates pretty quick.
All right.
And then, but it stays on the glass. So it's more of an aromatic. I mean, you'll taste it to a degree. But it's more for like the overall, like, I mean, because a lot of taste is smell. So that's what it's for. And it just looks cool.
Yeah. Most of the whiskey I know growing up or in my adulthood has been like, like Jack Daniels, Kentucky Gold shit. And it's always like an old head that shouldn't be drinking something this stout. No. Like, I'll just go get you a shot of this right here, clear you up.
Oh, no. I have many uncles like this. I've drank a fair amount of T.W. Samuels in my time.
Oh. Yeah. I think Kentucky Gold, and there's another one that is bad. I can't think of it off the top of my head to save my life. Seagram 7's pretty bad, too.
Yeah, it's not the best.
No. I ain't a whiskey drinker. I just drink beer, so. And tequila every blue moon. But a couple Miller Lights is my avenue.
Yeah. I remember whenever I was a kid, my dad, I say a kid, I was probably like 17. And my dad I'll be like, can you get us some whiskey? And he's like, all right, I'll get you some whiskey. And we'd hang out on my buddy Wayne's front porch on this couch we put up, on a couch we put on his front porch. My dad would go get us a handle of T.W. Samuels because it's in a plastic. And he would just throw it out the window and try to hit us when he would drop it off. He wouldn't be like, here's your whiskey. He would just hurl it out the window because it was plastic. He thought it was the funniest shit.
That's the inventive, that's the throwback Uber way back there.
The first Uber Eats was just a bottle of T.W. Samuels flying through the air. It would have sucked if it had hit us.
I hear the voice. It's like the...
That would have ruined the night for sure.
So, you were saying earlier about the social media stuff that you wanted to bring up, because when I was digging through your Instagram, I'd only seen a few things. I know it's hard with all the different platforms to always push content out there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like at a crossroads with it because I know like pretty much any like entertainment field, it's crucial because like at this point the amount of followers you have is it might even surpass like having credits for things you've done. Like might not have that many credits, but you got 10 million followers. There's money to be made there. So I know it's something I need to do. The only thing is my trepidation is in people get stuck in niches, and you see it all the time in social media, and that's like all they can do now. And if they do something else, they lose followers because that's not why they're there. You're like, say if it's just some stick with food, you can't do anything else. And I don't know. I don't want to write the same joke over and over, and you like have to be like lockstep with that because that's what the people that do follow me want to see, and I need those followers as credits, or as like my foot in the door in places. I don't know. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and it's hard too because you'll get followers, and then one week someone might not like what you did this week, and they'll unfollow, and it's just I don't know. The social media world is just wild in general to me.
It is because it's also like you said one thing that they didn't like. Of all the episodes you've done or all the stuff you've done that they like, there's just this one thing that you may have worded weird, and they're like, "Nope, done with him completely."
Yep, he ain't putting enough 15-second videos out there for me to watch.
Yeah, dude, that's a weird one too. To cut it down because we were talking about like how before TikTok and COVID, like shorts weren't really a thing. YouTube didn't have them. Like the shortest videos you were going to get on YouTube were like 2 minutes. Facebook didn't have them. Instagram didn't have them. And then TikTok, that phenomenon, everything has shorts now. And if you're not taking advantage of shorts, you're going to have a rough time.
Yep. It's where it's at right now. It's hard to be, we feel it on the show because sometimes, like recently we had a short on YouTube get 16.9K views, but the full length video where that short comes from has 1.8. And you're like, I need you to watch the full video, not just the listeners. Watch the full video, please. Thing. Just it's entertaining. Look,
watch the whole thing because if you like that clip, there's more of that there.
Yeah,
it is that what you said earlier. Attention spans.
Yep, it's just the world we live in.
It's hard to not get conspiratorial with it too. Like, kind of looks like conditioning, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're watching, and especially like now with kids. Dude, I have stepkids, and one of them watches unboxing videos. I'm like, dog, you're 10 years old. Go outside. There's all kinds of shit you could be doing, and she's just watching unboxing videos one after another. Like, you realize that you can open boxes. You can do what they're doing right now. This is nothing crazy.
My daughter told me when I asked her about it, she said, well, I get to see stuff that I might get you to buy at the store, but now I don't want it because I seen what it looked like on the video. And I'm like, I hate your logic right now.
That's actually pretty solid. I can't argue with that.
That's what she told me. But then I like the logic, like every time I got to go to the store, she's there. She knows it's like a third sense in her little body. It's like she knows I'm about to have to go spend money. So she wants to get something too.
You get in on this.
Oh man, I can't.
He's already opening the wallet. This is my chance.
Yep. Or like taking the key off the hook. It's like that little sound.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Time to go.
I'm going to the store. No, we're going to the store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, can we stop and get a snack? And I know them struggles, bro.
Oh, dude, you can't stop anywhere.
Any store, my oldest daughter will find something that she wants.
Oh, yeah. And it's always like a pickle or something. It's something weird that that they haven't had, that only that gas station probably has that weird-ass pickle or whatever candy it is. And they're like, I haven't had this. And you're like, damn it.
I think what was it? What is that TV show? Rick and Morty. They had Pickle Rick as a pickle the other day. She wanted it. I'm like, why you don't even like whole pickles? I like Rick and Morty. And I was like, hey, why are you watching Rick and Morty?
That's kind of like that Limp Bizkit thing we were talking about.
Yeah. Like, but it's probably a whole bunch of, who knows now with technology how advanced and how much access there is to the world.
Oh, dude, it's hard to contain at this point. Like, just what people are exposed to. Because you never know how, there's things that, like, I don't know, like on YouTube, they used to do on YouTube Kids, they had this one dude posting like these crazy, like, self-harm cartoons. And he slipped through the regulations of YouTube Kids, and they were very dark and stuff like that. So it's like, that's intentional.
Yeah.
So it's like, people are trying to expose other people to things. And it's very hard to control that whenever you have this much access to everything.
I don't know, growing up, like you said, we would go outside, play basketball till the sun went down, ride bikes and stuff, and it's a fight to get my fucking boys outside. My teenage boys.
Oh yeah, they're
fucking
in the house.
Roblox. They just want to play video games.
And this is the thing, I've played a lot of video games. Like in my life, I played a lot. But also, like, went outside, like you said. It is getting very hard to get children to go outside. People don't go outside. It's cool whenever you go to a place that we're like a park or somewhere in another city, or I mean, you have some of them in Lake Charles, and you see people out. You're like, this is nice, because people don't do it anymore.
Yeah, for everybody out there, go get some fresh air.
Yeah, touch grass.
Yeah, just put your earbuds in, listen to the show, and go for a walk.
The whole show, though.
Yeah, not just bits and parts of it.
In its entirety. They're like what, like 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah.
That's a decent amount of time to walk in a park. Get it in. Then you get the whole podcast, and there we go.
I think the shortest one this year was Stimily. Shout out Stimily. But she was trying to catch a set from Tristan Dufran, and she was performing inside of a ambulance, but the ambulance is decked out in like DJ equipment and stuff like that this year at the Void. So
the Jambulance.
Yeah, so it's I might mess his name. It's either Hickerson or Hinder. My bad. I get back with y'all on that. I know his name, but it's his like setup and stuff, and it's just cool because he has all the lights still hooked up, like the ambulance lights and stuff. But anyways.
That sounds awesome.
Well, she was trying to catch that, so we only got like 15 minutes in. But it was still a good show.
I mean, to get 15 minutes in between somebody who's performing a set and then trying to see another, that's actually, I mean, the majority of festivals, artists don't get that long. So that's pretty lengthy if you consider that.
So I'm assuming from what I've already heard that you've been to a couple different music festivals and just festivals in general. What's your favorite festival you've attended in Louisiana?
Oh, probably the Void. But also, I work in audio. So I run monitors and sound for a lot of festivals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of
nice.
That's the day gig. So I do everything a lot, dude. So many Zydeco festivals. I'm not going to shit on Zydeco, but it's like this has been the same song. Rock festivals, country festivals. I've done a lot of them, and I think I'm going to go with the Void, not to kiss ass, but because the Void is like a full production. It's a festival grounds. It's not just like the Nature's Hot Air Balloon Festival, where there's a stage, there's vendors, hot air balloons. That's the weekend. This place is like there's nooks and crannies, and there's shit going on that like might not be planned, that you just stumble upon. Like two guys that are going to perform later in different bands, just kind of jamming their acoustics in a secluded spot in the woods. That shit's way cooler than just having an itinerary and not being able to like discover anything on your own. And that's why I think it's probably the coolest festival I've been to in Louisiana.
What about outside of Louisiana?
Texas got like Float Fest and stuff's pretty cool. It's super hot though. That's the only problem. I try to avoid. I try not to take any of the jobs that are festival gigs in Central and South Texas during the summer because they're fucking brutal.
Yeah, I lived in El Paso for 4 years, so.
Then you know.
Yeah, I know. Hot and fucking cold and snowy. It snowed every year I was in El Paso. And not like a light snow either, a hefty snow.
So that's not. I don't think that I would expect that from El Paso. I've never spent a lot of time there, but it's not like synonymous with snow. Yep. I know New Mexico is because like there's a lot of ski because the mountains start there.
And see where I was at in El Paso, they have an east and west side of El Paso, and I lived on the east side, but it was more of like the mountainous side of El Paso.
Yeah, like the foothills of the Rockies where they're kind of starting.
And I didn't know, like, because I grew up in Louisiana, and we don't do a lot of snow driving, and it's not the initial snow. It's like about a week later when it's all melted, but it starts freezing on the road. And I lived uphill, and I was coming down, and I just started sliding down the hill and slid right through a red light. Now, I was lucky I didn't get hit, but I couldn't stop. I hit my brakes, and my Jeep just kept sliding downhill.
This had to be a very foreign feeling. Like,
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had to stop by the gas station up the road because it was almost bad.
You almost shit your pants.
Oh, yeah, it was almost time to change the old pantalones. I always forget to use the sound pad. I apologize, listeners. We got this upgrade a couple months back and got all these nice little sound buttons I never used.
That's nice. This is a friend of mine has this model, and he may overuse the buttons.
Oh, yeah, because you have these set, and then you can switch it and go into 2 more folders and have all of them different too. So you can essentially have, how many's on there? 6, 12, 18 different sounds at one time during the show, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of options too. Yeah. Sometimes when it's stuff like that, if you have too many options, it's easy to get carried away.
So with your production stuff, how long have you been doing that?
Well, I've played in bands and did sound for like small local gigs a lot when I was younger. At this level, I'm only like a year in. So I'm very green, but still like for like the newer guys, they're going to make you a patch guy or something like that. So you still go on the road, you still do festivals. You're not like for the bigger stuff, you're not running the board or anything. So I haven't been doing it that long. It's been pretty cool though. I've gone all over Louisiana. Some of Mississippi, some of Texas. That part's cool. It's just an opportunity to travel. But also, I mean, I travel for comedy, so I think I'd rather travel for comedy. But doing festivals and seeing a lot, there's some bands out there that just blow your mind that like nobody knows about. And they come on stage and you know it as soon as it happens. You're like, oh shit, these dudes are for real. And you see them at places like I was talking about, like that hot air balloon festival in Mississippi. There's a band there called Mother's Finest. And the production manager, this guy named Jimmy Mack, Wildman, he's telling us, he's like, yeah, they've been a band since like the late 60s. It's a husband and wife. They're very big in Europe still. And I was like, all right. And then they come up, do their sound check, start playing. You're just like, oh, okay. He wasn't just fucking with me. These guys are legitimate badasses.
So with doing production and comedy and music, what kind of music did you play?
It's mostly metal. There's a little rock and blues in there.
Are you a singer or drummer?
No, I play bass and guitar.
Nice.
I was a bass player for that was my very first paying job, was playing bass. I played probably 23 years now. I should be better than I am. 23 years in now, I think about it. But yeah, bass and guitar. I've tried so many times to just, I mean, I could do a 4/4 boom bap on the drums, and that is the extent of it, despite all my efforts.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a drummer. I play the bass and trombone. Nice. I used to play tuba and baritone and stuff in high school and stuff like that, but I still actively play the bass and the trombone, more on the trombone side. So. Okay. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of stuff in the bag.
I'm trying, man, this is the thing is, like when I told you earlier to quit the drinking, I drink heavily very heavily for like a decade. And then once I sobered up, I was like, oh, well, I need to start actually doing things I'm good at that I like. Because I hadn't played music in that whole time. I wasn't really pursuing comedy as hard as I should. I was just kind of a more laissez-faire, like, let it come to me. So now that I have free time that where I'm not like hungover or hammered, I've been putting my efforts into those. It's been very rewarding so far.
Well, with all that years of experience, that should pair well with your stand-up going forward now.
Yeah, I got a lot of material out of it. That's for sure. Definitely, maybe not the best way to get material. Doing that. Well, I mean, the music and comedy is fine, but the being hammered all the time, you get a lot of material out of it, but it's really, was it worth it?
So you draw a lot of your past experiences for your comedy set, or is it a mix of past experience, stuff you learn, and just because I listened to your stuff about the AI on your stand-up, and that was pretty interesting take on that.
Oh, the robot slurs?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't take long, man. Like once I see like they start implementing robots and AI, people start losing jobs, and it was like almost as soon as it happened, you start like literally hearing in YouTube videos and just in Reddit actual robot slurs, and I was like, that didn't take long at all. It's weird. I've had so much trouble trying to get people to laugh at that joke.
Oh, I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. Reminds me of Skynet.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's not so much using the slurs. It's like, this is a robot problem, and we're going to have to face this together. But I just use slurs to get that across. Maybe not be the best route, but I've tried it so many places. And it's one of those ones where like half the crowd pulls away because I think they may have just heard me say just the word slurs.
Yeah.
And then the other half are like, yeah, fuck those robots. So it's
a crowd splitter sometimes.
Yeah, I'm going to get it, though. There's a way to tell that joke without losing half the crowd. And I'm going to find it.
So how do you deal with that personally when you feel like a joke is not hitting? And how do you handle that? Is it like, okay, let me hurry up, finish this, and try to move to this solid joke I have to know to pull the crowd back? Or you try to stay on pace? You know what? I don't care if they like it or not. I'm going to finish my joke and go on to the next one.
That goes back to the where we're at and what we're doing. Like if it's a paid gig, I've been booked there to put on a show. If one of them is lacking, I will kind of just wrap it up, move to the next one. And usually if I have something that I know is like hit or miss, I put something strong right behind it. And that way you can get them back. Because it's not just getting them back for the laughs for you. That whole show, you want to keep the energy for the guys behind you. Because if you come in and just tank and you're like second on a lineup, they're going to have to get those people back. And it's not that next guy's job to do your heavy lifting. So I try to like, if I know something that I'm not going to end on one of those, that's for sure. But if I'm at a mic working on it, I'm going to keep going with it. Because at that point, you're working on the joke. I'm not there to tell it perfect. I'm there to find out what's funny for it. And that's the unfortunate part of comedy is you can't like practice it at your house. It's not like because I was in bands forever, you can jam and you have something. Because there's 5 of you. You can all come to a general consensus that coming into that breakdown right there sounded really good. Let's do that. When it comes to like joke topics and concepts, you can't really do that with people like you're the only one. You're at your house by yourself around the country, like I said, and you're like, yeah, that's funny. Well, there's only one way to find out. You have to go do it in front of a room of strangers. And then you find out, like, there's a lot of times you're like, that's going to kill. And then it just eats shit.
So do you have a joke that is like a long-lasting memory of just super tanking? That just was like, man,
Well, this is the thing. When you're pursuing comedy, you're going to tank a lot. You're going to bomb often. I mean, hopefully not so much. If it's every time, it might be a you thing. It's not for everybody. But if you're in it long enough, you've bombed enough to where like I don't think I have one specific where I was like, Jesus Christ, that was rough. Because if you do enough open mics, it's probably like 50-50 with open mics, especially like in smaller cities that necessarily don't have 1 million people population. to have a bunch of comedy specific clubs. These are open mics that are usually at like bars where people, they may not have went there to see comedy.
Yeah, they might be drinking some sorrows away.
Yeah, or they're there because there's a crawfish special running or something like that. They're not there. They didn't come specifically for comedy, which that will get you sharper for sure to get those people to laugh, because that's not what they're there for. Whenever you get into the bigger cities, you have comedy clubs that have open mics where people are specifically there to laugh. That's always a plus. Because I think they're more willing to laugh. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to, it's not as heavy. You don't have to pick it up. But even those mics, some of them are just abysmal.
See, I never thought that it would be so hard. Is it hard to draw an audience in Louisiana? Like, just for comedy?
I'm gonna like open mics,
Yeah,
stuff like that. And or if it's a show with just local people, it can be pretty difficult. The open mics, they're, like I said, they're always like at like in Lake Charles, there's no designated comedy club. There's a couple venues that do comedy shows, and there's a couple venues that will host open mics. Jacob Guidry, that runs Lake Charles Comedy, he does a really good job of bringing in like national acts, guys that, like guys from Kill Tony or guys that are touring the whole country, and putting local guys on that show. And those are much easier to get people to, because you have that somebody that they've seen on a YouTube short, somebody they have a little familiarity with, and then some local guys that have been vetted that are going to get laughs. But whenever it's just like an open mic, it can be, especially during football season, good luck. Like, we do our one on Monday, and as soon as football season starts, the crowd goes down to like maybe a fifth of what it was. And that's every Monday for the entirety of the season.
Trust me, I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, Fox Sports podcast.
Looking at you.
Yeah, I know you're number 7. That's all right.
I think you're going to take them over. You're going to get them.
Yeah, one day, the Third Coast podcast will be that number 1 ranked podcast in the state. And it's going to be thanks to people like you, Jay, for coming through and telling your story, a little slice of Louisiana history right here. And I've already learned so much about you.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit there, though. Podcasts aren't easy. I did one for a while. They're not. Because it's managing time. It's finding people that you're interested in, getting them to the location, and then having the time to do it. But then also being able to have conversations. It's not easy. A lot of people can't continue a conversation for the length of 45 minutes, an hour. It kind of you have lulls.
Yeah. I guess that's just years of practice now.
That's what everything is.
So do you have a big, inspiration in comedy?
No. I think my biggest inspiration in comedy was like making my mom and my aunts laugh when I was little. Yeah, I was like, that felt good. I'm going to keep doing that. But as far as like comedians, is that what you mean? Like,
yeah,
inspirations? I have a few with all different kinds of styles. Because I am of the school's thought that there's a lot of dudes that think comedy has to be like this compelling social commentary and all this, and I think it just has to be funny. I don't care what you're talking about, just be funny. If you can do the hyper intellectual political stuff and be funny, cool, do that. But if you just if you're Jim Gaffigan, you just want to talk about fucking Hot Pockets and be funny, do that. So I have influence from all over. One of my favorite comedians all time, he might be number 1, is Bernie Mac.
Well, we're likewise. He's my favorite.
I love Bernie Mac. I love his old I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
I just love the stuff with his kids. That shit make me laugh so hard every time.
Well, you see him when he's late 80s, early 90s, before he has kids. He's super flashy.
Yeah. He's
got himself airbrushed on his pants, with a microphone. And then you see him you can see whenever he has kids because he starts wearing a suit. And he starts looking like he's the pastor.
Yeah. I think that was right around the times of Kings of Comedy, right?
A fantastic tour as well. I think that Bernie Mac's up there. He's top. But also, like I said, Jim Gaffigan, he's super clean, and he talks about just like stuff he likes to eat, but he's funny. That's where I try to find. I want to find. I don't want to necessarily shit on anybody's like material. There are definitely some hacks out there, but I want to find like it doesn't matter what you're talking about. Why is this funny? Because guys, like I said, you talk about something super serious and dark, or just be dark for the sake of being like like super blue comedy, or absolutely clean and still be funny. That's a dichotomy that like I'm still trying to understand that. I feel like that's part of learning it as a craft is going like, oh yeah, I don't have to like fucking be the smartest guy in the room to be funny. I feel like it takes time in the industry to kind of start looking at it that way, because a lot of guys don't. So finding inspiration, I'm getting to a point now where it's like a lot of the old school guys, Carlin and all that stuff, I find myself trying to be less like them. Still enjoying them very much for their comedy, like Bill Hicks and stuff, and moving to it just be funny. It doesn't have to be like a hot topic. It doesn't have to be hyper intelligent. It doesn't have to be crude, but it can be if that's what's funny. I feel like that was a word salad and I didn't answer your question.
No, it's fine.
Also, this is a cool mural.
Yeah.
Hannah Jane.
Well, we got a deer. There's a panther or some shit. No, a female lion. I'm going with female lion. And the mountain with an eye on it.
Yeah, this one has a face. Waterfall crying.
I guess that's an owl up top, too.
It's got a lot going on, but it's very cool.
So, Jay, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. What made you? I mean, I think I kind of listed a little bit of the one with my buddy Keys. Keys is one of my best friends. I've known that dude for 10 years. I've hated him the entire time.
You hate Keys?
He's not good at anything. He's the worst. No, I love that man very much. So I listened to your podcast with him. Also, kind of prepare myself for what I was getting into. What is it that you enjoy the most about doing this?
I enjoy meeting new people and how some of them people have eventually became some of my good friends.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Waylon Bailey. I talk to this dude all the time, and he's excited for the show. And he's been, like last week, he got Dustin excited and got him to come down and share his story. And we talked back and forth, and it was just like I forgot how he found, I think, interviewed Darian Hayes from Alexandria.
Okay.
And he saw the show. Then he went and watched a lot of the shows, then hit me up wanting to be a part of the show. Then I interviewed him and then just crafted a friendship.
Yeah.
And he lives right up there in Forest Hill up the road. But that's because the show was just me, Terrence, and Kobe in the beginning and just three friends talking on the mic. Well, now it's progressed into meeting new people and actually making new friends. So I guess that's probably my favorite part of doing the show.
It's the connections you've made with people.
Yeah. And just it's cool that we get to do something like this, and it's longevity and just a little sample of real people in Louisiana, or just real people,
yeah,
not on Fox News or big corporations where they're only going to give you a little window of time. You get to actually sit down and learn something about somebody.
Yeah, instead of just a little snippet. I think that's I mean, outside of podcasting, I feel like that speaks to volumes of like sitting down and having longer conversations with people. Because I feel like how we were talking about earlier, the attention span of social media. I feel like a lot of the times when you're interacting with people, it's kind of the same thing. You're not sitting down and talking about something that they're interested in or you're interested in for an hour. You don't have that as often. People aren't like, I don't think people are as engaged as they used to be or should be. Maybe not used to be, maybe should be.
Yeah, because you'll be in mid-conversation with somebody and you'll see the old...
Yeah, they're bringing up the phone
slowly and you're, oh, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Or you're making small talk. You're not really like diving into a subject and giving your opinions or having a conversation about it. It's just like, how's the weather? How are the Saints? You know,
Yeah.
it's just, it almost feels like a defense mechanism people kind of have, to where they're like, they don't have to get invested. Here's these safe conversations we can have briefly for like 10, 15 minutes, and then we're getting back on our phones after that.
Them walls.
Yeah.
Built up walls.
What is the most interesting thing you've learned, like about like either an industry or a occupation or just somebody's backstory?
I've interviewed some people personally on the show. Me and Kobe's talked to a lot of people, but on my personal, like, one of the most like profound things I found out, Mr. Steve Staples of the Iceman.
Yeah, I've sat down and had a conversation with him as well.
So recently had him on the show, and I recorded the show in his guitar shop, International Vintage Guitars. If y'all want the best vintage guitars right here in Oakdale, Louisiana, I think he has a website too.
He has some stories too, brother.
But he's met like Bob Dylan, sat down and sold guitars and played with Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, sold guitars to Bruno Mars, Machine Gun Kelly, and this man survived cancer and is like, I don't want to butcher your age, Mr. Steve, but I think he's in his 70s, maybe a little older. I might be lying.
He's older than us for sure.
But he still gets on that stage and kills it. And I'm like thinking, I hope I have half the energy at that age that man does. And it's just like, it's mind blowing to me, like that drive that man has.
I think that kind of drive only comes out of passions, like something you're passionate about. If it was like I don't know, it's just some fucking job, I don't think Steve would be hitting it for as hard and as long as he has. You get that from people who are passionate about or doing something they love. If you watch him on stage, it is wild because he's much older than the rest of his band. You can see that. But he might have, what are the kids called? The most aura?
Yeah.
You're just like, he's got his hood on and he's just like shredding. It's fucking awesome to watch.
And what was cool about that one too is learning a little bit of Louisiana history mixed in with it, with his guitar shop being in New Orleans and going through Katrina and the different hurt, like Isaac and stuff down there. Excuse me. Learning how they, from a personal insight down there in Katrina, a lot of people forget how devastating Katrina was and what it really done.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we didn't go on like this big, like deep dive into it, but we did hit the surface, but a surface that you ain't going to hear from nobody else.
You'd had to been there for it.
Yeah.
He was in the thick of it.
Yeah. Entrepreneur in New Orleans during Katrina, talking about the flooding, how people were looting the liquor stores, but they left his guitar shop alone.
Yeah. He's got like 60,000. Like they're just
like, he probably has
some of the rarest
hundreds
guitars.
of thousands of dollars worth of music equipment.
If not more.
And they're like, man, fuck that. Let's get drunk.
Well, yeah, but also I can see like if my whole life just got turned upside down. I think I'd probably only go for food and booze too.
Yeah.
I mean, because what is like a 67 Jazzmaster going to do for me? I can't eat that motherfucker.
No lights. My house is
no
flooded.
Electricity. I want to put the body up to my ear just to hear it resonate. That is.
But that's just like one of the many interesting people that we've had on the show, and hopefully there'll be a lot more in the years to come.
At one point, I had a podcast years ago. I don't even think it's on YouTube anymore. And me and Jacob and Keys have kind of started one. Thinking about people to interview that would have some of the wildest stories or just the coolest. I don't know why, but I think shrimp boat captains.
Oh, see, that'd be interesting there.
Because they have wild stories. Because, there's not always fair seas. And then you could get an insight into, like... Because seafood is huge in Louisiana. It's a big part of our economy. Like, statewide. And I don't have the faintest clue how any of it works.
I know they ain't too happy with them plants they're building down south right now.
And that's because they keep
Fucking
dumping
up.
mud into the bayous, dredge
Yeah.
mud.
Yep.
Yeah, and when they said they weren't going to, that's really where they fucked up. Because they had in Lake Charles, they had like a huge town hall type, and that was one of their big promises that they weren't gonna fuck up local fishing. Because Louisiana is the outdoors paradise, or outdoorsman's paradise. A big part of not just our economy, but our culture is fishing, crabbing, hunting.
Being able to make a living off the land.
Yeah, or at least feed your family.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but also enjoying the great outdoors recreationally. There's a lot of water-based activities in Louisiana because there's water everywhere. There's a lot of boaters, and whenever you make it to where people can't, especially if they depend on, especially those bayous, those inlets, and you say you're not going to pollute them, and it's one of the first things you do, it's a real bad look. It's terrible optics.
Just like with the CO2 capture, they were trying to push in Allen Parish, but the voters voted no on it.
The whole drive here, starting past DeQuincy, somebody took pieces of tin roofing, cut them, and put these signs up about the CO2 capture, about how it's fraud and all that stuff. And I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this is 100% bullshit.
Yeah. It's pretty bad because when them whales like to rupture a lot, and when they rupture and explode, they kill everything within vegetation and everything because it suffocates the air in the area. But up to I forgot what it was, but it's like you saying that you're going to store this underground safely, and then they like to rupture, and then it's going to kill everything in say a 50-mile radius or whatever it is. Kill everything what you store in a nuclear bomb underneath these grounds.
There's too much room for catastrophic failure in that situation, especially when it's something that, let's be honest, you probably don't need. If you want to capture more carbon, you plant more trees.
Yeah.
This is the easiest way to do it. And you're talking about heavily forested areas need carbon capture that'll explode and kill everything? No. I'm glad that didn't go through.
Yeah, it went through in some different places, but in Allen Parish it didn't. So we got lucky here. The ambulance is on the way.
That is one of the gambles of doing the outside podcast.
Oh yeah, it'd be all right though. I'll be able to filter that out. Where are we at? 46 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody's okay with what's going on here.
Wrong button. I don't think that was necessarily the king button. I was looking for
I hope everybody's okay in the laugh track.
I swear to God I don't know where it is. There's a segue button I have. I give up now. I just made a whole bunch of random noise for no reason. So Jay, if I was out there and I was on the fence about doing stand-up comedy for the first time, what would be your advice for me?
Right. Don't think that you're just going to get up there and be funny. Because the first time that you're on stage, you're going to find out a lot very fast. And if you are unprepared, it's going to be much worse. So if you want to ease yourself into it to where it's not a terrible experience immediately, prepare. Just if you want to try stand up, you should. If you think you're funny, you should try it. My advice would be to prepare yourself. Because preparation has never hurt anybody in the history of preparation. So sit down. The jokes that you think that you have that are funny, write them down, think about them, and then write down the stuff that you think. And try to put together, don't shoot for a solid 5 minutes at your first open mic. That's it's doable, but it's not an ideal goal. Try to get a few laughs. You don't need huge pops. You're not trying to keep beat where you're trying to get a laugh every 20 seconds. You're not. This isn't paid gig. You're working on the material. If you want to do comedy, prepare, go to an open mic, do it, and then assess it honestly with yourself. Can I do that better? And if you think, obviously, it's your very first time, you can. Try it a few more times. And then also, be honest with yourself. 'Cause it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, there's other avenues you can take. Or you could just continue to practice at it. You get better. Just do it. That would be my advice. Be prepared and do it.
Nice. You have any wild stories you would like to share with the listeners out there before we close this up? You got anything crazy that might have happened while you were doing some shows or touring around? Or
oh man, we had a crazy show in Lafayette recently. We had Enrique and Rick, two of the Kill Tony guys.
All right.
And then in the middle of the show, a drunk guy who just like grabs his girlfriend like around the neck like that for a moment and then sits down. The whole crowd sees it. And they're like, yo, what was that? And he's like, oh, this is just something we do. And she doesn't look like it. And then he just keeps going to the bar in the middle of the show. And then he's trying to engage in the show. So he goes to the bar again. Security at this point is like, hey, man, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. So he's like, well, let me get my girlfriend. He goes in there and grabs her by her arm and tries to yank her out of the building. And this giant man from the crowd has him in a chokehold. Like it immediately. And he's just yelling in his ear. He's like, you're fucking done, bud. And then Rick's still on stage trying to make the show continue. They kick the guy out. The cops show up, arrest him. The entire bar applauds. If you ever have this happen to you, where you're putting handcuffs inside of a bar and the entire bar applauds, you need to rethink some things, brother. You're not making good decisions. But then to see that and then watch Rick save it and kind of make it a joke. The lady stayed. She didn't leave. And the entire, to see those guys get that show back and make it a good experience for everybody, that's pretty crazy. So I was like, oh, this is fucked. And then they were like, no, we could save it. And then they did. While, I guess domestic abuse happened in the middle of it. That's not a good look.
You're done, brother.
Dude, this guy he's like 6'6".
Oh, big massive.
And he's probably he looked like a dude probably late 40s, like a dad. He was wearing Hey Dudes and like a pastel polo shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about, a dad. And just hemmed this dude up and was yelling, you're done, brother. It was like a real WWF moment, but very serious at the same time. Inside of a comedy show, which isn't serious.
And with people cheering the police for an arrest?
Yes.
Well, that's a sight in itself.
You know you're bad when they're like, hey, get those cops in here in this bar. Whenever the guy that's got a bag of Coke is like, yeah, get him out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, get back to this comedy.
When that dude's not like, oh shit, the cops. And he's like, that's right. You know you fucked up.
Yeah, you messing up my high right now.
He did mess. I was probably a little too high for it. Not on Coke, but I was watching this from afar, just like, what is happening right now?
Make sure that if you are participating in the Snow White, to get you a test strip to make sure you don't have nothing else in there. Be safe out there.
If you're
gonna partake, be safe.
Yeah.
Because test strips don't cost nothing. A hit of fentanyl will take you out.
Yeah.
I don't do that, listeners out there, but just for people that might be into that avenue, do you safely?
Yeah, no judgment, but please, by all means, be safe.
I know that's a weird thing to say, but hey, you never know. Might save somebody's life.
They
might be. You know what? I need to test this first.
Yeah.
Good thing I tested. Thank you, Third Coast Podcast.
See, this is how you get rid. This is how you overtake Fox Sports right here, by bringing the truth to the people about Narcan and test strips for any powdered substance that you may enjoy.
Yep. Might have to test some flour when I get home, all purpose. No.
That is one of the great things about the medical industry being in Louisiana. Because there's fentanyl's on weed. Why is fentanyl on weed? And you get it from the doctor, I think you're pretty safe.
Yep. Old dispensary right up there in Alexandria.
Yeah, we have one right. We have a drive-through.
That's how that one. It's the medical cabinet in Alexandria. That's pretty good.
That's so wild though, because I remember my dad smoked weed in the 90s, and he treated it like it was a serious felony because it was.
Yeah.
And then to see just like a drive-through and like waiting in line in this drive-through, there's like 3 cars ahead of me and 4 behind me. I'm like, everybody is just picking up their weed and going to Sam's because it's right by each other. It's like
You gotta get your snacks.
seeing the same guy that was behind you in line at the dispensary walking through the dog food aisle. You're like, we're friends. You don't even know it.
Yeah, last time I went to the dispensary, it was my first time up in Alex, so I was kind of like nervous and stuff, but the whole process was real easy. But there was an old man in there, and he had to be like in his 70s and stuff, and he was in the little area right next to me. He's like, come up here, and he got up and stuff. He's like, that'd be $650, and this dude had it looked like a pound he bought from the dispensary, and smiling ear to fucking ear. Had an old man with button-up shirt too, pulled his money out of the pocket.
Oh shit, Selmart ass shirt.
And I'm talking about just a band of fucking 20s to him.
That's
Big ass smile, big ass paper bag too.
Hey, as long as he's happy, bro.
You can buy dog treats from the dispensary too.
Yeah, it's for like arthritis and sleeping problems and stuff. The first time I ever went in a dispensary, we were me and some friends that went to Colorado, like during like the most intense portion of the COVID lockdowns. So everything was closed. Dispensaries were not. But like only 2 or 3 people could go in at a time, and I was like, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be. But when you go to like the recreational ones, it's so different because they're like pre-rolls, blunts, chocolate bars. I mean, you can order stuff very similar through the like medical dispensary. It's just you can't buy bongs there. Like they're like, we got everything you need, and like eating edibles in the mountains at altitude. It's a very surreal experience.
What's the altitude up there in Colorado?
We went all over the state, so we got pretty close to Pikes Peak and stuff. So I think we were like, at one point, we were at 14,000 foot.
When I was in Afghanistan, the elevation was 6,600 something feet up in the fucking air, up in the mountains.
Dude, you're from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah.
We're flatlanders, bro.
Oh, it was terrible. It was hard. They warned us too. It's like, you're going to have a hard time adjusting.
Yeah.
And it was brutal for the first like 3 weeks out there. Hard to breathe.
Yeah, we stayed in the little town that South Park's based off of. It's not South Park. It's called like Harmony, something like that. They have a big South Park. I keep hitting this. They have a big South Park cut out for you to put your face in at the city hall. And we stayed at a hotel there, and I went up like a half flight of stairs, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck? Why am I out of breath right now?" And I was like, "Oh no!" I mean, altitude. They sell canned air everywhere, and it's flavored. So I was just like huffing cranberry oxygen for like a week, and I was taking edibles. And the guy that drove us there was acting a little weird. So everybody's like, "We don't want him to drive. We want you to drive." And I was like, "I just ate like 100 milligram chocolate." And they're like, this other guy was like, "Look, if you get a little too high, I'll give you a pump." And I was like, I'll drive. And, you know that feeling, like, because down here everything's flat. Like a good hill will give you that tingle, like in your belly button. It was like that for 8 hours straight. And I'm entirely too stoned to drive. And there's places in Colorado that should definitely have guardrails that do not. Whenever you're looking down and like down there are the tops of trees.
And man, you lucky paranoia didn't hit you.
Oh, it hit me the entire time. That's exactly how I was driving. And then we went through a tunnel and it had gone down to one lane and traffic did not slow down. So I'm just like in like fluorescent lighting. And you don't know if you're going this way or this way. In the throes of that paranoia. And then to hit the other side and just see like this scenic valley and the light shining, it was like, oh, there is a God. And he loves me.
I survived.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Nice. So, Jay, at the end of every one of our shows, we do words of wisdom for the listeners out there. And do you have any words of wisdom you would like to share with the Third Coast Podcast community?
I mean, kind of in the theme of everything we talked about today, just whatever it is that you think you want to do to try, do it and practice, because nobody's good at your first try is usually never good. Like this, you've been doing this for 6 years. What was your first podcast like compared to
totally different?
The 100th or the 200th? It's like, because I feel like the way we're getting, what we're talking about with AI and stuff, a lot of mundane jobs are not going to be options. So I think we need to get back into our artistry. And if there's something that you want to pursue, start it and keep doing it. I watched a very weird meme that summed up that advice perfectly. And it's pretty much like, if somebody walks in on you masturbating and you quit right there, you're embarrassed. But if somebody walks in on you masturbating and you keep going, they get embarrassed. It's like, when you think you should quit, don't. That was a terrible meme to bring up, but if you think
it's solid.
I mean, it's solid advice. It's just a weird delivery. But if you think you should quit, what it is you're trying to do, don't. Keep doing it.
Nice. My words of wisdom out there, listeners, is to love yourself, because if you can't love yourself, you can't love nobody else back. So practice on self-love and self-care. And Jay, thank you so much for coming through. It's been a wonderful time, and I had a blast.
I had fun too, man. Thanks for having me. It was good.
Nice. So make sure, Jay, throw your handles out there, so if the listeners want to like and follow your content in the future.
Okay.
Or any upcoming shows.
You can follow Jay Moody on most social media, but on Instagram it'll be Jay's Got Jokes Comedy. That's probably that's where the majority of my information goes.
All right.
I appreciate it.
And you have any upcoming shows soon?
I'm November 15th. I'm in Lafayette or in Baton Rouge. And November 21st, I'll be in Lake Charles at Library Riot.
Nice. See, I gotta go to Library Riot. So many people perform there. I ain't never been there.
Dude, it's as far as Lake Charles go, there's not a lot of places that have I don't know, that do music, comedy, all that stuff. Library Riot, they have any given night of the week. I think it's like they start Wednesday to Saturday. There's either a band playing or trivia or comedy. It's a cool spot.
I'm definitely going to have to come out and check that place out one of these days. I know, a big shout out Kylie. She does stuff on Mondays out there. But thank you so much, bro. And y'all already know who it is. I'm Joe. What it do, Gators? Thank y'all for listening, and we out.